The clowns underestimated Mike Tyson, but they paid the consequences. Intro. Mike Tyson isn't called the Iron Kid for nothing. Since his debut, fight after fight, he delivered a series of great moments to boxing fans that, even today, haven't been surpassed. To relive some of those moments, I bring you a compilation of fights where Tyson demonstrated why becoming the youngest heavyweight champion in history was destined for him. Get comfortable, because you're about to dive into a whirlwind of aggression and savagery like never before. Luckily, we'll only be spectators. Mike Tyson versus James Bone Crusher Smith. The year was 1987, and Mike Tyson had just been crowned the youngest heavyweight champion in history by the World Boxing Council. But with such recognition came bigger challenges. One of them took place on March 7th, when he stepped into the ring at the Las Vegas Hilton Outdoor Arena to face James Bone Crusher Smith. Being the 7-1 favorite, this fight is fondly remembered by Iron Mike's fans as the first time he was introduced with that nickname. Smith not only had the age advantage, being 13 years older than Mike, but also an 11-inch reach advantage and 6 inches in height. This fight was part of HBO's Heavyweight Unification Tournament, as Smith was also defending his World Boxing Association heavyweight title. Mike entered the ring with an undefeated professional record of 28 victories, 26 of them by knockout. Meanwhile, Bone Crusher came in with a record of 19 wins, 14 by knockout, and 5 losses. The judges for the bout were Dalby Shirley, Jose Juan Guerra, and Lou Tabat. With Mills Lane as the third man in the ring, the fight began. Fight summary. From the first round, Smith's fighting stance was a surprise. Instead of bombarding Tyson as expected, he tried to hold him, which resulted in a point deduction by the second round. Bone Crusher's tactics frustrated Mike, leading to shoves between rounds as Tyson tried to provoke Smith's anger.
The wind of that at the commentary position right against the ring apron. There's no reason to suspect he's not the Iron Man.
However, the intensity shown in those moments rarely translated into the actual combat. Some sparks flew at the end of the first round when Tyson threw a left hook long after the bell.
And the stare from Tyson, and Bone Crusher saying, "What's this all about?"
At the start of the second round, Mike opened a cut over Smith's left eye with a headbutt. A minute later, Smith's troubles worsened when Lane penalized him for continuous holding. By the end of this round, the lack of action drew boos from the crowd of nearly 14,000. In the third round, more holding from Smith and frustration from Tyson ensued, who couldn't land a good combination. By this point, post-bell activity seemed to become routine. Bone Crusher began to retreat in the fourth round after Tyson landed a right to the head, but that was the only significant blow of the round. After rounds 5 and 6 proved uneventful, the crowd finally had a moment of excitement in the 7th round when Tyson hit the canvas, though it was just a slip.
Well, that was almost hit it.
In the 8th round, once again, Lane had to deduct a point from Smith for excessive holding. The fight dragged into the final scheduled rounds with Tyson looking for a fight and Smith evading him, causing the boos to continue. To break the monotony, Smith landed a punch in the last round, but did little else. The final bell ended the miserable fight in which both fighters had been forced to participate.
And I think Tyson did. And this will keep going after the bell.
It could have been worse, it was later said. It could have been scheduled for 15 rounds. When the referee took the center of the ring, Iron Mike was declared the winner by unanimous decision. Mike Tyson versus Donovan Razor Ruddock. Tyson and Ruddock have a history. Their first meeting took place on March 18, 1991, in the ring at the Mirage Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. It was a heavyweight elimination bout with Jerry Roth, Chuck Giampa, and Dave Moretti serving as judges. While Mike entered the fight as the #1 heavyweight contender for the World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association, and International Boxing Federation, Ruddock closely followed, ranked second. With Richard Steele as the referee for this encounter, the fight began. Fight summary. From the sound of the bell, Mike came out of his corner with the aggression that characterized him in those days. His hard work quickly took its toll.
Well, he's ready for it. He threw his bomb. All right. Cut which missed. The big question, can Ruddock withstand the cut? It's done something. It stopped Iron Mike. What our associate minister lets them know. Tyson hitting afterwards.
as in the second round, Ruddock found himself on the canvas, forced to reconsider his participation in the fight. Despite getting up and continuing, in the third round, Ruddock faced another setback, hitting the canvas once again.
Good shot. He just doesn't quite get there. There's a left by Ruddock. What a counterpunch.
Tyson's violent offense continued through the rounds until the seventh, when a deadly barrage of punches sent the giant Canadian wobbling, marking the end of the fight. Faced with the tragic scene, Steele decided that Ruddock couldn't take another punch. Thus, Iron Mike was declared the winner by technical knockout at 2 minutes and 22 seconds of the seventh round.
Sounded like he hit a drum. Again, the crowd groaned. Relentless attack by Tyson. Just then, Tyson has Ruddock on the rope. Now the right combination. Steele steps in. Is it over? It's over. And Mike Tyson has defeated Razor.
Mike Tyson versus Donovan Razor Ruddock II. A few months later, on June 28, 1991, Ruddock had the chance to redeem himself by fighting Iron Mike once again. The fighters were once again called to the ring at the Mirage Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. For this heavyweight elimination fight, Dalby Shirley, Chuck Giampa, and Art Lurie served as judges. Tyson remained the #1 heavyweight contender for the World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association, and International Boxing Federation. But now, Ruddock could only boast of being the second-ranked heavyweight contender for the World Boxing Council. With Mills Lane as the referee for this new encounter, the fight began. Fight summary: Tyson came out of his corner with the confidence of having beaten Ruddock before, and quickly reaped the rewards.
Third man of the ring. He has one of the best lefts in the business. Good counterpunch by Tyson.
In what seemed like deja vu, Mike sent Ruddock to the canvas in the second round. Ruddock managed to continue fighting, but in the fourth round, yet another setback came. Once again, Tyson's violent offense sent him to the floor. Ruddock's frustration only grew as the rounds went on. Although he made it past the seventh round, he was penalized in the eighth for hitting after the bell. Mike, on the other hand, also seemed frustrated that the fight had gone on so long. In a rash move, his attacks on Ruddock led to some low blows, resulting in point deductions in the 9th and 10th rounds. With both fighters unable to finish each other off, the fight reached its conclusion.
Oh, nice counterpunch by Tyson. To the right hand. Hard. Tyson digging to the ribs. Winning what round?
When the announcer took the center of the ring, Iron Mike was declared the winner by unanimous decision from the judges. Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinx. 3 years earlier, on June 27, 1988, Mike Tyson stepped into the ring at the Convention Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey, to face Michael Spinx. This was one of the most iconic matches of the decade, billed as Once and For All. It was a fight between two undefeated fighters, each with a legitimate claim to the World Heavyweight Championship. Additionally, Spinx was defending his The Ring Heavyweight title for the 4th time, while Mike was defending the International Boxing Federation Heavyweight title for the 4th time, the World Boxing Association Heavyweight title for the 6th time, and the World Boxing Council Heavyweight title for the 7th time. Therefore, the winner of the bout would gain exclusive possession of the title. The judges for the fight were Rocky Castellani, Jon Stewart, and Eva Shane. Mike entered the ring with a perfect record of 34 wins, 30 of them by knockout, while Spinx followed closely with 31 wins, 21 of them by knockout. With Frank Cappuccino as the third man in the ring, once and for all, the fight began. Fight summary: 21-year-old Tyson shone in the ring. When the opening bell rang, he charged forward and threw a left hook that caught Spinx high on the head. At that moment, the ring champion wasn't thinking of a peaceful retreat, but rather of grabbing hold of Mike with his arms. In their first clinch, Cappuccino intervened after noticing one of Mike's glove laces resting on Spinx's throat. Moments later, Spinx, who now appeared to be just a challenger, tried to back away but had his head snapped back by a hard left uppercut. Still reeling from that first blow, Spinx was then hit with a short, spinning right hook that landed just below his heart. At that point, the ring saw its champion fall to his knees. It was the first knockdown in Michael Spinx's professional career.
Michael Spinx has to keep moving because every shot... uppercut landed!
With Cappuccino counting, he got back on his feet by the count of 4. Still, Frank counted to the regulatory 8 and asked if he was fit to continue, staring into his eyes. When the fight resumed, Tyson returned to his aggressive stance. Spinx attempted to defend himself with a right hand, but it was too weak and his movements too slow. Tyson threw a left hook at shoulder level over Spinx's uncertain hand. The clash of these two forces sent Spinx head forward and down, where Mike caught it with a right hand that arced at waist height and connected squarely with the jaw. Spinx's eyes rolled back and his legs trembled. With his arms stretched out, he collapsed to the canvas. He tried to get up as Cappuccino counted, but he fell onto his right side. By the time Cappuccino reached 10, Spinx's head was resting against the bottom rope. In just 1 minute and 31 seconds, Tyson defeated the, until then, undefeated Michael Spinx by knockout. Mike Tyson versus Trevor Berbick. Another heavyweight champion who failed to successfully defend his title against the young knockout machine, Iron Mike, was Trevor Berbick. To relive this bout, we must go back to November 22, 1986. That night, in the ring at the Hilton Hotel in Las Vegas, Mike Tyson challenged Trevor Berbick in what would be his first defense of the World Boxing Council heavyweight title. The fight was billed as Judgment Day, and the crowd of over 8,800 people knew they were about to witness history. In the worst-case scenario for Mike, his epic undefeated streak would come to an end. With Mills Lane as the third man in the ring, Judgment Day took place. Fight summary. When the bell rang, Iron Mike went into beast mode and charged at Berbick. Although the first round was highly explosive, the real damage to the reigning champion didn't come until the following round. In it, Iron Mike's relentless offense left Berbick stumbling around the ring as if he were caught in a cosmic loop. It all began when Mike knocked Berbick to the canvas with a fearless series of punches that ended with a powerful left hook. Berbick crashed to the mat but quickly got up, signaling to Mills Lane, who was closely watching, that he could continue the fight.
Championship of the world. Trevor Berbick and Mike Tyson. Tyson goes to work right away, and he gets Trevor in trouble, and he's done a count as he steps right up the counts to 4 and 5 and 6 and 7.
Unknowingly, Berbick was only signing himself up for an inevitable and irreversible punishment. It was evident that the champion was not in good shape. Berbick's inability was exposed as he tried to tie Tyson up in clinches to stop his aggressive drive toward a victory that already seemed promised. Even Berbick's desperation was clear when, in the middle of a break, he threw a punch at his challenger. That bold move earned him nothing but a stern warning from Lane.
Here's that belt. Wild on the break, and Mills Lane warns Trevor about it. Trevor trying to do all he can, but what he's not doing is holding off Mike with a left. And you see the light left cage. Instead he goes to the body downstairs, catches him with the right hand.
Ironically, his end came at the close of the round. Suddenly, a deadly left hook from Tyson landed on Berbick's temple, and after a delayed reaction, he collapsed onto the seat of his trunks. Berbick was not willing to lose his crown so easily, so he truly fought to get back on his feet. However, all he did was stumble toward the ropes near his corner, where he collapsed helplessly. Berbick tried to straighten up, his arms flailing. The scene became even more chaotic as Berbick staggered back to the center of the ring where he had initially fallen, only to crash back down onto the canvas.
Bangs the body. Wow, that uppercut is Tyson. Catches him with a right left hook, and he goes down. He's able to get up from this. His legs may be shut. They are. As Trevor back in the rope. I don't know if he's going to be able to continue.
Determined not to give up his title, the champion once again tried to stand, stumbling toward a neutral corner. By that point, Lane's very lenient count had already reached 9. Against all odds, Berbick had gotten back up from the canvas at that moment. Lane didn't hesitate to quickly examine Berbick, only to realize that sending him back into the fight would be like leading him to slaughter. With nothing else to do, Lane hugged Berbick and stopped the fight. At 2 minutes and 35 seconds into the second round, 20-year-old Mike Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion in history by defeating Trevor Berbick by technical knockout. It's said that when he got into the ring, Iron Mike told his team, "I am the youngest heavyweight champion in history, and I will be the oldest." Do you believe in the idea that if you manifest something, it comes true? Mike Tyson versus Larry Holmes. And before I let you go, I have one more shocking fight to share. Once Mike became the youngest heavyweight champion in history, he had to prove he was worthy of the title's pride and defended against the long list of challengers eager to take a shot at the great Iron Mike. On January 22, 1988, the unlucky challenger who stepped into the ring at the Atlantic City Convention Center in New Jersey was Larry Holmes. Tyson, at 21 years old, was 17 years younger than the 38-year-old Holmes, who had been out of the ring for 21 months. This fight would determine whether experience outweighed the wild spirit of youth. Mike had to defend his International Boxing Federation heavyweight title for the second time, his World Boxing Association heavyweight title for the fourth time, and his World Boxing Council heavyweight title for the fifth time. With the legendary Joe Cortez as the third man in the ring, the fight began. Silence. Fight summary: Tyson, already the undisputed champion, was the aggressor throughout the first round. As soon as the bell rang, he came out of his corner with a clear offensive plan, determined to make Holmes regret even thinking about taking his belts. By the second round, Mike had gained enough confidence to allow Holmes to breathe and throw some punches of his own, though Holmes never posed a real threat.
Questions if in fact Larry can nail Tyson, with how long can his legs stay strong? There's a lot of pressure on him.
The third round was total domination by Tyson, who proved that the vitality of youth's wild spirit was stronger than years of experience. However, it wasn't until the fourth round that Mike cornered Holmes and stopped him once and for all. With a powerful right hand, Tyson put Holmes in serious trouble. The right landed squarely on Holmes' chin, sending him crashing to the seat of his trunks, right in Tyson's corner.
Continue that round after round. Oh, a big right hand, and down goes.
Cortez counted to 4 before Holmes got to his feet, grabbing the ropes. Cortez counted to the full 8 and watched Holmes shake his head as if trying to clear his thoughts. When the fight resumed, the wounded veteran let go of the ropes to face Mike, who was already moving toward him. Tyson threw punches left and right, trying to land the final blow. Suddenly, another strong right hand from Mike sent the fading veteran crashing against the ropes and back down to the mat. This time, Cortez counted to 5 before Holmes got up. When the fight resumed, Tyson seemed determined to finish him off once and for all. The young knockout machine threw punch after punch, repeatedly snapping Holmes' head back while ringside assistants were screaming for the fight to end. Cortez allowed the fighters to continue as Holmes tried to escape, with Tyson chasing him. Inevitably, another strong right hand from Mike knocked Holmes down, and as soon as his almost lifeless body hit the canvas, Cortez waved the fight over. At 2 minutes and 55 seconds into the fourth round, Tyson defeated Larry Holmes by technical knockout.
Be hanging on! Now with the right hand, the left hand! He's gonna hang on! Or he'll stop the fight! Down he goes!
After the defeat, Holmes didn't fight for over 3 years. However, he returned in 1991 and remained active until 2002. Closing. If you've made it this far, thank you. Remember, the best way to support my content is by leaving a like on the video. Which of these incredible Tyson victories was your favorite? What other fight do you think I should revisit in a part 2 of this video? I'll see you in the comments. Iron Mike, throughout his professional boxing career, proved to be a true knockout machine, but there was no deadlier moment than when he was freshly primed. In today's video, we'll relive some of Mike's matches where he left his opponents in agony and their trainers begging for mercy. You won't believe the last one. Stay until the end to test how strong your stomach is while witnessing tragic scenes of regulated torture within the rules of the ring, where the strongest prevails. Cryos. Tons, the cunt Mike Tyson versus Pinklon Thomas. We begin this journey of pain and despair for Tyson's opponents with a stop on May 30th, 1987. By that time, Mike had already made history as the youngest heavyweight champion ever. He was defending the WBC heavyweight title for the second time, and for the first time, the WBA heavyweight title. For this new challenge in his career, the contender was none other than Pinklon Thomas. In the ring at the Las Vegas Hilton Outdoor Arena, Thomas felt he had a good chance of dethroning the newly crowned monarch, but reality couldn't have been further from his perspective. With Carlos Padilla as the third man in the ring for a scheduled 12-round match, the bout began. Pros. Tal fight summary. From the very first round, Tyson displayed his ferocious nature. His ruthless offense nearly disabled Thomas early on, though it wasn't enough to secure victory.
You may see that Mike Tyson still works. He still throws punches. It's not to unload that jab. Give him angles. Don't think about that as he comes in. He feigns left, he feigns right. There's a big left hand by Tyson, but Thomas is all right. Well, I stated earlier, the key to this punch for Pinklon Thomas is the jab. He has not thrown the left jab to keep going. His legs are not rock solid at this moment either. Cut under the left eye of Thomas. There's another left hand.
Thomas's jab tactics, along with clinching as a last resort to buy time in the ring, forced Tyson to scrape for a way to position himself for the decisive blow to end his opponent's agony.
And that's what he's trying to keep Rooney told him. Started to say swelling on both cheeks. There's a good jab again.
For the champion, the solution came abruptly in the 6th round. A relentless right hook to the body hurt Thomas, followed by a devastating right uppercut to the chin. This was one of the young Knockout Machine's favorite punching sequences, and one of the most damaging to his adversaries. However, what ended the Pink Man was a diabolical left hook straight to the head, leaving him in serious trouble. When the left hook landed, Thomas stumbled backward with a bloodthirsty Tyson still in pursuit. Tyson unleashed his relentless fists once again, hammering his already broken challenger with lefts and rights until he collapsed onto his back.
Trouble again, and now Tyson moves in for the kill. 2 uppercuts and a left hand, and a right hand behind it. Thomas trying to hold on. Serious trouble, and down he goes.
Thomas's eyes were glassy, and blood streamed down his face. Padilla leaned over him and began the safety count. By the count of 9, Thomas's trainer, Angelo Dundee, had climbed into the ring, signaling frantically for the fight to end. At 2 minutes into the 6th round, Mike Tyson was officially declared the winner over Pinklon Thomas via a devastating technical knockout. Mike Tyson versus Larry Holmes, continuing Iron Mike's path of terror. Our next stop takes us to January 22nd, 1988. By this time, Tyson had already defended his titles once more, adding another jewel to his crown, while challengers continued lining up for a chance to dethrone him. For the second defense of his IBF heavyweight title, the 4th of his WBA heavyweight title, and the 5th of his WBC heavyweight title, the challenge took shape in the legendary Larry Holmes, a warrior both in body and spirit. At just 21 years old, Tyson was 17 years younger than the 38-year-old Holmes. This fight was expected to be the ultimate test of whether youth's vitality outweighed experience in the ring. However, the odds didn't seem to favor Holmes, who had been out of the ring for 21 months. Choosing Tyson as his return opponent was arguably one of the biggest mistakes of his professional career. With Joe Cortez as the 3rd man in the ring, the 12-round match was set to begin. From the first second of the fight, Tyson, already recognized as the undisputed champion, reaffirmed his dominance by taking an aggressive stance.
Larry trying to box him. Can that left jab keep him away? So far, Tyson is coming through it. Tyson showing no respect so far, boring in the way he always does. Larry not an awesome fighter, and this is the first round.
During the first 3 rounds, the young Knockout Machine dismantled Holmes to the point of stripping away his fighting spirit.
Referee. One of the big questions, if in fact Larry can nail Tyson.
However, it wasn't until the 4th round that Tyson's fearsome fists delivered the coup de grace. A powerful right hand put Holmes in serious trouble. The hellish punch landed squarely on his chin, sending him crashing into Tyson's corner.
Holmes cannot continue that round after round. Oh, a big right!
Cortez started the count, and Holmes was on his feet by 4, clutching the ropes as the mandatory 8 count was completed. Shaking his head a couple of times to clear his senses, Holmes stepped away from the ropes, only to face Tyson charging at him once again. Euphoric, Tyson unleashed lefts and rights, relentlessly searching for an opening to seal Holmes' fate. Suddenly, another devastating right hand sent Holmes bouncing off the ropes and collapsing onto the canvas. Stubbornly, he was back on his feet by Cortez's count of 5. As the fight resumed, Tyson seemed determined to finish things. He threw punch after punch, some landing so cleanly that Holmes' head snapped back dramatically. At this point, Holmes' corner could be heard pleading for mercy, shouting for the fight to stop. Yet Cortez allowed the nightmare to continue as Holmes tried to evade Tyson's relentless assault while the champion pursued him. Another powerful right hand sent Holmes crashing to the canvas, and as his lifeless body hit the ground, Cortez waved the fight off.
Don't come inside. There's the left. There's the right. Larry's ready to go again. He's hit with the left hand. He should be hanging on. Now with the right hand, the left hand. He's got to hang on, or they'll stop the fight. Down he goes. He is knocked out. Larry's hurt. It's all.
At 2 minutes and 55 seconds into the 4th round, Mike Tyson was officially declared the winner over Larry Holmes via a dramatic technical knockout. Tyson retained his titles, but in the opposing corner, the recovery from this brutal episode was anything but easy. Holmes did not fight for over 3 years following this loss, eventually returning to professional boxing in 1991 and retiring for good in 2002. Saaters Mike Tyson versus Frank Bruno. More than a year later, it was Frank Bruno's turn to endure torment in the ring. On February 25, 1989, Bruno challenged Mike in a do-or-die bout for his titles. This time, Tyson wasn't just defending the WBC, WBA, and IBF heavyweight titles, but also the prestigious Ring Magazine heavyweight title. In the ring at the Las Vegas Hilton Center, a 12-round display of skilled boxing was promised, but it took less than half that time to reach its tragic yet thrilling conclusion. With Richard Steele as the third man in the ring, the course of history continued to unfold. From the first round, Tyson was hailed by the sports press in the following days as a true professional fighter. His energy was compared to that of James Jeffries, who set the record for the fastest knockout in history against Jack Finnegan in 1900. Bruno hit the canvas almost before the timekeeper could drop his hammer. After getting back to his feet, the fight turned into a real clash royale.
Bruno has all the pride of England standing for him. He get tagged again by a right hand. He's trying to hang on to Mike. All the questions about distractions have been answered as Tyson attacks. By catching him in the first round. He's nailed. The right hand catches Bruno. Left hook. Bruno looks ready to go.
The end came in the 5th round when Tyson landed a pair of short but devastating uppercuts. At that moment, Bruno's nose began to bleed. In retaliation, Bruno managed to land 2 punches to Tyson's ribs, but seconds later, the countdown to his defeat began.
Throughout a good portion of the fight against Al. Bruno was caught that time, and Tyson knows it. Tyson trying to attack now to finish him off. And Bruno's in big trouble now. He's ready to go. Tyson gives him room to come off the ropes. Scores with the uppercut. Lands a big right hand. He hits him with a right hand. Bruno trusts he can. He's still in big trouble. The uppercut catches him. The right hand catches him. He's really being hit now.
First came a powerful left hook to the jaw, sending Bruno against the ropes near Tyson's corner. There, the champion pounced on his challenger like a predator on its prey. Bruno, already defenseless, endured punches as forceful as a lumberjack striking down a tree. After 4 or 5 powerful blows to the head, referee Richard Steele stepped in.
As the big right hand lands, Tyson knows a fighter cannot be saved by the bells. He's got him in big trouble. If he doesn't answer it, Richard Steele has moved in and has stopped the fight.
By the time the fight was stopped, Bruno's trainer, Terry Lawless, was already stepping through the ropes to save his fighter. At 2 minutes and 55 seconds into the 5th round, Mike Tyson completely shattered Frank Bruno's aspirations and was declared the winner of the bout. Mike Tyson versus Trevor Berbick. Have you ever heard the legend of Trevor Berbick and how he was knocked out in just over 5 minutes after stepping into the ring against Iron Mike? This moment dates back to November 22, 1986, the night Mike Tyson made history by becoming the youngest heavyweight champion ever. But that's already a spoiler. In the ring at the Hilton Hotel in Las Vegas, Berbick faced the daunting task of defending his WBC heavyweight title for the first time. But with Tyson as his challenger, it was nothing short of a suicide mission. With Mills Lane as the third man in the ring, the beginning of the end for Berbick's brief reign was set in motion. Fight summary. Mike came out in the first round hungry for victory. Despite setting the pace and cornering the champion, the real damage came in the second round.
Botha here, standing toe-to-toe is not the way. This is a poor fight plan. Oh, the right hand gets him. Notice the lazy left. Watch Tyson load up with left and right. You get the idea that Mike, as soon as, a right hand, but the left hook is Berbick, and Tyson clips him with the left hand. Look at this, combination, and Berbick ready to go.
Tyson, the young knockout machine, ruthlessly sent Berbick to the canvas with a devastating series of punches that ended with a powerful left hook, leaving the champion no choice but to fall helplessly onto his back.
Championship of the world, Trevor Berbick and Mike Tyson. Tyson goes to work right away, and he's getting Trevor in trouble, and he's...
To everyone's surprise, Berbick got up and signaled to referee Mills Lane that he was fine to continue. Perhaps this was the best display of resilience in his career. But Berbick wasn't fine. His struggle became evident as he tried to tie Tyson up in clinches to stop the deadly offensive. His desperation showed when, during a break, the champion resorted to a dirty move, striking Tyson. Lane, of course, couldn't ignore the foul and issued a warning. Ironically, Berbick's end came near the end of the round. Tyson landed an incredibly violent left hook to the side of Berbick's head. After a delayed reaction, the champion fell to the canvas.
Berbick trying to do all he can, but what he's not doing is holding off Mike with the left. And you see the cage. Instead he goes to the body downstairs, catches him with the right hand, up and landed. See Mike just pouring, bone crusher Smith, straight jab time. Bangs the body, wow, with that uppercut is Tyson. Catches him with the right left hook, and he goes down!
Berbick, dazed and struggling, searched for his fallen crown while attempting to rise. The scene turned tragic as he stumbled toward the ropes near his corner and fell again. Still making desperate efforts to stand, his arms flailed uncontrollably. Berbick staggered back toward the center of the ring where he had originally fallen, only to collapse once more. They say there's nothing more dangerous than a wounded animal, but Berbick proved he couldn't even handle himself. Once again, the former champion tried to get up, stumbling toward a neutral corner. By this point, the spectacle had shifted from sensational to pitiful. It was sheer agony. By the time Lane's count reached 9, Berbick had risen from the canvas. Lane took a quick look at him to see if he could continue, but instead of letting the fight go on, he embraced Berbick, holding him back, and declared the fight over. At 2 minutes and 35 seconds of the second round, Mike Tyson made history by becoming the youngest heavyweight champion ever. And what an unforgettable ending it was. Partiza closing remarks. If you've made it this far, thank you. The best way to support my content is by leaving a like on this video. Which of Tyson's legendary beatdowns was your favorite and why? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Mike Tyson is one of the few ring warriors who doesn't need to get his hands dirty to win a battle. However, Mike's behavioral record has occasionally been tainted by reckless decisions made in moments when adrenaline clouds reason. Welcome. In today's video, we'll relive the controversial fight between Mike Tyson and Francois Botha, the night when a couple of bones were seconds away from breaking. It was 1999, and it seemed Tyson was ready to leave the scandals of the old millennium behind for this fight. Tyson had recently fought a second controversial match against Evander Holyfield, and you may wonder how this jump in time was possible. You see, starting in June of 1997, Mike was suspended for a whole year and was out for a year and a half before facing Botha. For this fight, Tyson was trained by Tommy Brooks. Brooks was known and respected for his roster of fighters, which included none other than Evander Holyfield, aside from being the 1975 National Middleweight Champion of the Amateur Athletic Union, so greatness was expected from his part. And on January 16, 1999, in the ring at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada, Mike had to prove he was up to the task. The fight, it was scheduled for 10 rounds. Botha entered as the number 2 heavyweight contender by the International Boxing Federation. The White Buffalo held an impressive record of 39 wins, 24 of them knockouts, with only 1 loss. Undoubtedly, a record worthy of facing a fighter like Mike, who, at the time of the fight, already held 45 wins, 39 by knockout, and only 3 losses. Would the White Buffalo be fiercer than Iron Mike, condemning him to a 4th setback in his career? That was the question that hung in the air when the fight was announced. The judges were Dalby Shirley, Bill Graham, and Dave Moretti. These personalities had the tough task of declaring a winner based on their analyses and perspectives if neither fighter's power could claim victory before the end of the scheduled rounds. Luckily, Iron Mike's beastly fury was at its peak after being caged for a year and a half. With the legendary Richard Steele as the third man in the ring, this epic fight took place. Round 1. Botha's right broke the ice, to which Tyson quickly responded with his left. The White Buffalo continued testing Mike's defense with powerful combinations to the body that seemed to fail to break through.
He hadn't started as fast as everybody, quietly waiting for his opening. There's 1, 2.
Eventually, Tyson's powerful left began to cause damage. Less than a minute into the fight, the clash of power between the fighters led to controversial clinches.
Smith dancing. And I'm starting.
Blood on the head of Mike Tyson. Botha have the ability to combat this. Botha certainly doesn't look afraid. He's standing right in there.
Botha continued attacking Mike's body and head, occasionally landing solid punches. Although towards the end, the round didn't look good for Tyson. Things turned darker when, in a clinch break, he seemed to attempt to break Botha's arm.
Everything Mike does.
Scheduled for 10. Botha off to...
avoiding.
Tremendous.
The White Buffalo inevitably cried out in pain, and Steele acted quickly before things escalated. Just before the bell, Tyson's face had to absorb a powerful right due to his actions. Even after the round ended, Steele seemed unable to break the clinch. Therefore, ring security had to step in and break the scene. Mike was taken to his corner by his team, while Botha was quickly attended by his own. After the intense moment, it seemed the White Buffalo had been quickly weakened. Round 2. Both fighters came out for the second round, and Mike's left quickly pushed Botha against the ropes. The intensity of Mike's offense had doubled, and it seemed like a clean fight until, less than 20 seconds into the round, another controversial clinch took place. Once again, Tyson seemed to attempt to twist Botha's arm, this time his left. Steele, outraged, handled the situation better. After the break, Mike went for another controversial clinch, leaving Steele no choice but to dock a point on the judges' cards. Both fighters continued the round with brief exchanges, which ended in clinches. With Mike attacking the body and head, the White Buffalo seemed unsure how to contain the offense.
Because there's fire. It might for Tyson, you gotta get...
Toward the end of the round, Botha was really trying to keep a safe distance, while Tyson's eyes blazed. After the bell, once again, chaos reigned in the ring. Clinched, a brief struggle required Steele's intervention. Fortunately, both fighters showed more willingness to return to their corners.
And again, a left hook to the jaw by Tyson.
Both of them might do to him, and the layoff has hurt his...
This is an alley fight, a street fight.
This is the kind that took the streets.
However, in slow-motion replay, it was clear Tyson was going for Botha's head, using his elbow. Round 3. At the start of the third round, Mike jumped on Botha, forcing him to retreat to the ropes. The White Buffalo, who was now keeping a greater distance, counterattacked occasionally. However, the clinches quickly reappeared. After a few dozen seconds into the clash, it was clear Botha was exhausted. In contrast, it seemed Iron Mike's battery was still fully charged. Dirty or clean, depending on perspective, it was clear Tyson was the clear aggressor in the fight.
Under a minute, Ribalta.
Mike Tyson.
Tyson looks fatigued already, exhausted.
Let go, Mike. Let go.
Both fighters.
What takes toll is the emotion of getting into a fight rather than a boxing match. You can box all night long, when you get a...
Let go, Mike. Let go.
Remaining, round 3.
After the bell, the fighters finally returned to their corners without overstepping boundaries. Round 4. The round had barely begun when Botha kept his distance while Tyson followed closely, threatening to go on the offensive. It seemed the White Buffalo was being lured, and to keep his opponent from getting close, he extended his left arm. Inevitably, his body had to absorb some of Mike's powerful combinations.
Crowd reacts
and loves it. Following Brooks's instructions.
Mike is not jabbing 30. That's the key to this fight.
The key to the fight is you better listen.
Botha tried to counterattack, but he was too exhausted to perform well. It was then that Tyson's left hooks began to have more impact.
And it... I'll tell you what, I don't like fighters that just... It's a non-combative posture.
If it's long, it will be. A guy is just walking around, kind of looking at him, making fun.
Long.
Round 5. Once again, Tyson pushed Botha against the ropes at the start of the 5th round. The White Buffalo's attacks seemed to shine for an instant, but it was only the last breath of an animal already near its end. Despite absorbing blows to his head, Mike didn't seem to lose focus. When Tyson began to attack seriously, it was Botha who opted to clinch. Between keeping his distance and clinching Tyson, the White Buffalo seemed to be buying time to survive another round. His plan seemed to be working. Despite being severely battered by Mike, only 15 seconds remained, and he could return to his corner to recover. But suddenly, out of nowhere, a bloody right hook, straight to the face, extinguished any spark of Botha's victory. The White Buffalo had been neutralized, like an animal put to sleep. Botha fell dramatically to the mat, irreversibly.
Mark of a shot fighter when you can't get off.
After the scene unfolded, there was only one thought in the air. It only took one punch, and he might not get up. Steele began the safety count as Botha's pride forced him to make inhuman efforts to get up. He stood up at the count of 9, but he had no stability. Even before Steele waved his arms, signaling the end of the fight, the White Buffalo began to stumble backward as if he had turned into a crab. The animal was dying, and fortunately, he was caught by the ropes before needing Steele's or Iron Mike's assistance. The author of this reaction, After attention shifted from the dying White Buffalo, everyone at the MGM Grand could realize what this truly meant. It only took one right hand. The legend Iron Mike was back. At the doorstep of a new millennium, Mike Tyson seemed to have much more to offer the sport. Now, at 32, the youngest heavyweight champion in the world wasn't ready to retire yet. If you've made it this far, thank you. Remember, there's no better way to support my content than by leaving a like on the video. Do you think Mike's victory was cleanly executed? Do you believe Botha's performance would have been different without the irregular events during the clinches? I'd love to read your opinion in the comments. See you there. Mike Tyson's height cast doubt on his ability to defeat the toughest contenders in the heavyweight division. But like every great pugilist, Mike turned what others saw as his weakness into his strength, delivering brutal performances to defeat some of the biggest and most muscular fighters of his era. In today's video, you'll witness how Iron Mike, the young knockout machine, demolishes true giants of the ring. Some of them shared bad blood with Tyson, creating a hostile environment beyond the rivalry of competition. Stay until the end, and brace yourself. This video is not for the faint-hearted. Content: Mike Tyson versus Jose Ribalta. It was August 17, 1986, and inside the ring at the Trump Plaza Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey, an epic clash was about to take place. Mike Tyson, with an unblemished record of 25 wins, 23 by the hard way of knockout, was set to face one of the most imposing giants of his career, Jose Ribalta. Tyson entered the fight ranked as the #1 heavyweight contender by the World Boxing Association and #2 by the World Boxing Council. With Rudy Battle as the third man in the ring, this death match began. Tyson knocked Ribalta down 3 times before stopping him in the 10th and final round, just when everyone expected the victory to be decided by the judges. Mike floored Ribalta with a right hook to the body, a combination of right uppercuts in the 2nd round, and a left hook that sent him crashing into the ropes and onto the canvas in the 8th round.
Tyson, he said, I don't mean to take anything away from Tillis. Again, just tremendous body shots and what an up. Counter right hand by Mike Tyson is invited. And there was an uppercut. It's about to go. There's a big right hand and Ribalta's. There is no spring. And there's a smashing left hand.
But it wasn't until the final round that Iron Mike decided to unleash his heavy artillery. At the start of the 10th round, Tyson knocked Ribalta down with an abominable left hook.
Oh, what a shot! And Ribalta's down.
After Ribalta got up at the count of 4, Mike unleashed a barrage of clean hooks straight to his head, forcing Rudy Battle to stop the fight.
That's a fighter.
At 1 minute and 37 seconds of the 10th round, Iron Mike was declared the winner by technical knockout. For Ribalta, this was his 2nd knockout loss. Mike Tyson versus Tyrell Biggs. If you're a fan of the sport, you might remember Tyrell Biggs for 2 things. 1, for winning the gold medal in the super heavyweight division at the 1984 Olympic Games, or 2, for the beating Mike Tyson gave him on July 16, 1987, after years of grudges and personal rivalries. Tyson's lifelong dream was to represent the United States at the Olympics, but it was cut short when he was rejected due to his height. Biggs, who represented the USA, did not hesitate to mock what was likely the biggest setback in Mike's history. This sparked a conflict that lasted until the moment the two met in the ring at the Convention Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Biggs claimed he had known Tyson before he became overrated, as he put it, and that it wouldn't take long to destroy him. Despite Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion in history, defending the World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association, and International Boxing Federation titles, Biggs underestimated him. Tyson, however, carried the chip on his shoulder of proving he was better than Biggs and that the Olympic spot and medal could have been his. With Tony Orlando as the 3rd man in the ring, the fighters were ready to settle the score. Summary round after round, Tyson's infamous left hooks landed on Biggs' jaw. The unified heavyweight champion showed no trouble connecting his punches, while Biggs seemed powerless to resist. Biggs' decline was painful to watch over 6 rounds, as the young Olympic hopeful he once mocked had become his executioner. Finally, in the 7th round, the Olympic medalist Tyrell Biggs had had enough. One of Tyson's signature left hooks marked Biggs' exit, sending him flying directly into his corner, landing motionless on the canvas with his legs eerily in the air.
Oh, that was a tremendous.
Karma acted epically, staining Biggs' undefeated record with his first professional loss dealt by none other than Iron Mike. At 2 minutes and 59 seconds into the 7th round, Tyson was declared the winner by technical knockout. Mike Tyson versus Mitch Green. Another rivalry that exceeded the healthy limits of competition in the ring was the one Mitch Green created with Mike Tyson. Mitch Blood Green was a nickname that followed him from the streets to the honorable boxing rings. As a gang leader in his spare time, Blood Green didn't hesitate to threaten his opponents with death. Tyson was no exception. But on the night of May 20th, 1986, under the iconic lights of Madison Square Garden in New York, Green's words would fail to match his abilities. And Iron Mike, the young knockout machine, would claim another victim. Summary, Tyson applied relentless pressure on Green throughout the fight, landing a series of powerful blows to his head and body that earned him the judges' favor. On 3 occasions, Green's mouthguard went flying due to Tyson's brutal punches, as Mike delivered short, devastating hits that landed on his opponent without resistance.
That jab in his face and not be intimidated by his punching power.
Mike Tyson around, so we'll see what he does about that against Mitch Green.
Always aggressive, right in front of his man. Now we see some head movement Mitch Green makes is the fact that he does some coordinators to make a guy like Mike Tyson respect him and get him in sharp. That's the uppercut. Mobility. Frustrated fighter.
Good left hand.
However, Green refused to throw in the towel. Several times, Blood Green counterattacked with flurries of punches that exposed Tyson's vulnerabilities.
Green got a couple of punches in, but as far as how solid those punches are, there's no comparison. Now Green holding.
Bad habit of leaning back. Watch the left hook with those quicker shots. There's the left hook I was talking about. Notice that there is no mount.
Did draw a warning from Luis Rivera, the referee, about holding. Green's in trouble out against Tillis. And what
he works his way in.
The mouthpiece come out with that. His best rally of the fight right here.
Look here. No.
He's caught Tyson 4 or 5 times.
And he landed with a good uppercut there.
Green just trying to tie Tyson up, and a couple of good shots by Mitch Green.
But as the later rounds approached, clinches began to dominate, eating up more and more of the fight time. This led the crowd of over 6,500 spectators to boo both fighters. After 10 controversial rounds, Tyson was declared the winner by unanimous decision. However, this wouldn't be the last time these two fighters clashed. Satyrus. Seamville clandestine rematch. On the morning of August 23, 1988, Tyson was visiting Dapper Dan's, a clothing store known for serving a clientele ranging from rap stars to pimps to pick up a custom-made jacket. When Blood Green learned that Iron Mike was in his territory, he decided to confront him and start an impromptu rematch. The altercation quickly escalated into physical violence when Green threw a sucker punch. Tyson responded with a straight right hand that landed squarely on Green's nose, leaving his face drenched in real blood. As a result, the gang leader was humiliated on his home turf and required 5 stitches to recover. Meanwhile, Tyson's punch was so powerful that he fractured his hand, forgetting he wasn't wearing gloves. This injury led to the postponement of his first fight with Frank Bruno. Mike Tyson versus Frank Bruno. On February 25, 1989, Mike Tyson and Frank Bruno finally met in the ring at the Las Vegas Hilton to fulfill the commitment they had signed a year earlier. By this time, Mike was defending the World Heavyweight titles from the Ring Magazine, the International Boxing Federation, the World Boxing Association, and the World Boxing Council. The anticipation generated by the delay in the initial fight added a new level of excitement, and fans expected 12 hard rounds of great boxing. However, the power behind Iron Mike's punches led to an early conclusion. With the memorable Richard Steele as the third man in the ring, the fighters jumped into action. From the start of the bout, Mike focused his fury on trying to secure a quick knockout. In those early seconds of the first round, Tyson had a good chance to break the record for the fastest knockout in history, previously set by James Jeffries against Jack Finnegan in 1900.
Bruno showing that he's not afraid. He was already tagged with the right hand. And there goes Bruno for the first time.
Unfortunately for Tyson, Bruno managed to rise from the canvas and continued the fight. From this point, Tyson's sadism was something that cannot be described.
Standing for him, he get tagged again by a right hand. He's trying to hang on to Mike and hit on hanging on and hitting Mike wobbly already. Right hand misses Frank Bruno. Bruno has come to try and mix it up. He's hanging on. Points will mean anything by the time this fight's over. And Frank Bruno is...
Finally, at 2 minutes and 55 seconds into the 5th round, Mike Tyson claimed a resounding victory over Frank Bruno by technical knockout.
Big trouble. The uppercut catches him. The right hand catches him and lands. Tyson knows he's got him in big trouble. The barrel has the big right hand trouble. If he doesn't answer it, Richard Steele.
This sparked Bruno's desire to face Tyson again in the ring for a chance at revenge. If you've made it this far, I thank you. Remember, the best way to support my content is by leaving a like on the video. Do you know the result of the second encounter between Tyson and Bruno? Share your knowledge with the community in the comments.